Hey, it's Magnus here, and today we are talking crowdfunding. You may or may not be aware, but I do a lot of crowdfunding. I have launched 10 of my own projects on Kickstarter over the last 2 years. I've also been behind another 2 projects. I sort of created the project and ran it for a friend of mine. So 12 projects I have done in total, with everyone successful. I think in the total funding is nearly or just over 1 million New Zealand dollars altogether, which I think is around about 600,000 to 700,000 US dollars. Now, because of that, people see my Kickstarter project and they ask me, to critique their own project they're about to launch, or perhaps they've just launched their own project and they want me to take a look at it. Because I'm a hell of a nice guy, and because I admire people who actually go out and do things like crowdfunding, I take the time to look at their page, I see what could be improved, and I typically write an email, saying what they could do to change it, improve it, what they should include, what they should maybe remove, things like that. I take a lot of time and effort to do it. The problem is, almost no one actually makes the changes I recommend. I'm not sure why, considering, not being arrogant, I've had a fair degree of success with crowdfunding. I study it, I only use what works. It's starting to bother me that I put the effort into replying to people who contact me for feedback on their projects, and they don't do any of the changes. So it's like, like anyone sort of in business, my time is precious, just like everyone else's. And so when I take the time out of my day to reply to someone who asks for feedback and they don't make any of the changes, it breeds resentment in me. I'll be honest. It's just a waste of my time, really. So I'm recording this video with a bunch of tips, tricks, do's and don'ts that covers like 80% of what you need to know when running your own crowdfunding project. This way, when anyone asks me for a critique or anything like that, I'll just say, check out this video. Photos are the thing in your project that you absolutely cannot get wrong. You have to make sure you have high quality photos. Photos are really the only thing that can break an otherwise good campaign. There's literally, you can screw up in any other way. You can have no video, a bad video, almost no pitch, you can have poor rewards, anything, and you can still have a successful project. But photos are the things I've seen that will break a project if they're not done well. People think crowdfunding is different to, say, selling. It's really not. Crowdfunding is just selling. You have an idea or a concept or a product or a design, and you're trying to get people to give you money for it. If that's not selling, I don't know what is. It really is salesmanship, and you need to sell your project to potential backers. Now, I could go into more detail here, but really just have a look online, have a look at books or websites on selling, on copywriting, things like that. Now here's something that no one else will tell you. I know it's true, I have proof that it's true. You will read everywhere online that the video is the most important part of a crowdfunding project. But let me tell you right now, it is almost negligible. It is absolutely unimportant. I've done tests, I've split tested projects with no video or a poor video compared to a well done, well made, well edited video, and there's no difference. The video is not important at all compared to photos, selling your project, the rewards, the concept that you're actually putting forward. For your rewards, keep it really simple. I see projects with literally dozens of rewards. Ideally, keep it down to 5, 6, 7 rewards, something like that. And if you can, Limit the numbers, do limited numbers sort of exclusive lower price rewards. This really makes a difference. It gets people to pledge right now when they land on your page compared to later on. So limited rewards if you can, that is a big boost to your project. The other thing I see people doing wrong all the time is promoting their various social websites and things like that on the project page. I'll see links to Instagram, Facebook, their website, things like that on the project page. Get that stuff off of there. There's got no business being there. The sole purpose of your project page is to extract money from people who potentially could support your project. I mean, that's really what it is. What else is it? People browsing the internet are trigger happy. They're ready to click their mouse button on the next link they see. If you've got a link on that website, they're going to click it and go away. The sole purpose of your project page is to get a potential backer and turn them into an actual backer. That covers 80% of what you need to know for your crowdfunding project. What I'll do now is just give you a few sort of quick fire tips and tricks that I've picked up over my last sort of few years in crowdfunding. Instead of pricing rewards at $20 or $10 or $30 or $50, make it $1 below. Make it $19, $29, $49, $99. It seems like a cheap retail trick, but it really works. Don't have huge blocks of text in your project pitch. Keep it to 2 or 3 lines and then a photo, 2 or 3 lines, a photo. People do not like big blocks of text. They will skim past it. You need to make it easy on their eyes. If you can, also include italics and bold and sub-headlines, things like that. Make it really easy to read for the reader. Include captions on your photos. It really does make a difference for people reading through. People really do read captions, and in fact, you know, people skimming down a page will often stop and just read the captions and nothing else. That's really the way it is. You can really never do too many updates in your project unless you're really boring in what you're writing and putting in the updates. I've done updates in my project as frequent as once a day for the entire project. Never had any complaints, and in fact had people interacting every day and commenting and they loved it. You know, I would talk about, you know, random stuff that was happening to me during the day. As long as it's interesting, people will like it and stick with you. I have found after the project is funded and, you know, you go through those weeks and weeks and months between the project ending and you delivering the rewards for the project, unless you do an update at least once a week, people will be commenting and wondering what's going on. I have found that 1 week is the sweet spot for doing an update. So at least once a week, and that will keep backers happy. Over the course of many projects, I found that the sweet spot for updates is at 1 week intervals at least, and preferably even more frequent than that. When you start your project and you start getting backers and funding right away for it, and you start getting a bit of success, you will inevitably get a lot of people pitching you their services, like saying things like, I will tweet you to my 50,000 followers on Twitter, I will post you to my Instagram this, I will show you on my YouTube this, and obviously they're all seeking payment for these services. I have found none of these services work. I tried pretty much all the ones when I first saw them. You know, I've tried most services out there and they don't work. I've tried services where I've paid not insignificant amounts of money to have my project posted to a blog, an email list, Twitter followers, Facebook fans, you know, tens of thousands of followers on each of these things, yet my project received no backers from that. I could track it, yet I paid significant money to have that. So unfortunately you will get lots of these pitches, and even more unfortunately they really won't work, and that's from my own experience. You might find something different. In your project page, actually ask backers to pledge money. You know, you have to blatantly say, hey look, I'm asking for something, give me money for it and I'll give you XYZ. you need to ask. Finally, if you're creating a physical product and you have not, fulfilled something like this before and shipped it out, I recommend at least doubling and preferably tripling the estimate time that you think you'll deliver in. So if you think you can deliver in 2 months, create the rewards and ship them out in 2 months, I recommend saying at least 4 months or 6 months down the line. Even now, after 10 projects or 12 projects, I still have to catch myself and double the amount of time I think I can deliver in, even now. Better to overestimate when you can deliver and then deliver early than underestimating it and potentially upsetting and annoying backers by delivering late. So that's really all I have for you. Hopefully you've got some benefit out of this. This is just the tip of the iceberg on what I know and what I've learned from crowdfunding, but this will cover 80% of what you need to know for launching your project.